And it's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. GM on this beautiful day. Good morning to Web3 with Barocco, Sep, and Mando. Tuning live at 10:30, and it's all on Rock Radio. It's a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. DM. Rock Radio.
Yo. What up? Good morning, GM. Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-host in the house, OSF Mando. Good morning. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
GM guys. Ooh, echo.
Really? I don't.
Yeah, there is.
I don't hear an echo. Do you guys hear an echo? I don't.
Yeah.
Must be you guys.
If I was a betting man, I would. Oh, it's gone. Not me.
It can't be me. There's no chance. I'm hearing perfectly on Spaces. Jazz would have told me.
I swear to you, it wasn't me. I guess it's OSF. OSF just did something just then.
I did nothing.
You know why I know it's you is that once again you stop sounding.
I swear on my life, it's not me because I didn't do anything. So it's one of you two, and one of you two is lying. So that proves to me that one of you two is lying right now.
I think you normally don't do anything but still have issues. So it's just.
You know what, man?
One of you two just lied. We need to work out who that is. Tell me after the show, all right?
Somebody said they hear it, but they said wait, fix, and there was a second. That's the second.
One of you two was just very dishonest. I want to know.
Listen, I was here introducing the space, doing my thing like I always do. You both my hands in the air. You were doing some stuff.
My hands are in the air too. I was like,
go back to the replay.
I'm gonna watch the replay and work out which one of you it was.
We're gonna
try to payment on me. I did nothing then.
Hold on.
I know that therefore that one of you two did it.
We're taking this to VAR. Hold on. We can literally go back live while we could take it live to VAR right now and check it out. We'll have Jazz double check on that. But anyways, how you guys doing? Okay, you guys are doing good. Okay, I see. Ovi's got the hair done this morning. Mando still got the sun glowing on his face. I moved the position of my desk to get the same sun glow as you do, Mando.
Yeah.
Trying to get, got a little better lighting. Now I got to fix my whole wall in the back, but we're getting somewhere. We're definitely getting somewhere. So we're no more echo. That's for sure. And Freed Seed wrote something pretty cool earlier in the YouTube chat. Shout out to the YouTubers. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff as usual. He said, Farouk and OSF, quite the pair. What did it say? Join the team with skill and flair. With Mando by their side, they swear to build the dream beyond compare. Oh, bars this morning. The YouTube's got bars this morning. Shout out Freed Seed. I love the YouTube gang. I'm not gonna lie. It's more fun because we get to like live look at your comments while we're hosting, and we don't have to scroll through Twitter to read them. So it's always fun. So, anyways, as usual, we're live on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces, But today on the show, wow, just a whole bunch of stuff going on, I'm sure. DGen's market report as usual, crypto, NFT, macro, FOMCs today, what to expect. But I'm sure you guys are gonna talk about it plenty on Rec Radio since you have your old pal during FOMC. That's gonna be pretty funny. You guys should do like a live FOMC, like one part of your interview with him should be like talking about what's happening live. Would be a banger. Polygon immutable partnership. I wanted to talk about it yesterday. Didn't get to it. So definitely want to chat on it today because it is a pretty big deal. STUBS is launched. So make sure you come and claim your code every single morning. At some point or another, we're going to give a code for a time window. And then that window closes. And with using that code, you can claim your UGG token and your daily stubs. Shout out to the people who claimed yesterday. 150 stubs went to 150 individual claimers. So that's a banger in the words of the great Mando.
It's fire.
Anyways, and at the end, today's part of the show, Orkhant, you've probably heard of him, especially lately, because Ovi bought one of his one-of-ones for 40 ETH, which is insane piece, and he's just like a master of arts, master of AI, incredible creator of rugs, actually beautiful rugs, generative arts using AI. So can't wait to talk about his new project, Carpet Diem. So can't wait to talk with Orkhan about that. It's gonna be a great show as usual. So anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Daily Market Report, brought to you by Rug Radio. Joseph, what's the word?
Hey guys, so one thing I want to say is traditional markets, despite everything that has happened, have performed very, very well. I think this is now the third consecutive day that equities are in the green, and this is right after everything that happened with Credit Suisse. So we're up. I mean, we're not up massive, but we're up 0.3%, 0.4% on S&P 500 and Nasdaq. We're back above 4K on the S&P 500. We're approaching 13K on Nasdaq. So it's a pretty strong response from equities to everything that's happened in the last week or two. Interest rates are kind of relatively stable here at 4.2% on 2-year, 3.6% on 10-year. So a rare moment where we haven't had too much volatility. But of course, today we have the FOMC. The expectation, I think, is for the Fed to hike by 25 basis points. I think that's kind of like the overwhelming expectation. I think if they hike by 50, it's going to be really bad. We'll have a big sell-off, but I think the probability of that is extremely low. There is some probability that they pause. And if they pause, I think the markets will have a bullish reaction initially, but it's probably a bit concerning for the medium to long term. And I guess they could cut as well, but I think that's also extremely unlikely. What will be most important is the communication they gave on the press conference, the questions that they have afterwards, and how Powell responds to that, and what communication he gives on his thoughts as to where they think inflation's at, as to where they think the economy's at, as to how they think they need to change or adapt their monetary policy given the recent banking crises. And that's all going to be, super, super important. It's, again, it's just it's literally like the biggest FOMC we've had in 12 months. I maybe have said every month.
Do you actually think that though? I don't
I think it
understand
is.
what the big deal is. Like,
I think it is.
Who cares if they do 25 bips or not? Like,
whether they do 25 bips or not is not the main thing though. It's what they say.
I know, but like they're clearly going to be more dovish than they have. I think I just zoom out from this and go like, why are we doing this again? Like every single month, it's the biggest one. This one feels like they're about to shift policy.
No, it's the biggest.
Let me finish my point. My point is that they've already played their cards. Like if they hike by 25 bips or not, I feel like they probably will hike by 25 bips. But they've already played their cards by saying they're going to do massive monetary stimulus already to help protect the banks. And so I just feel like they could whatever rhetoric they say, they've been called. Their bluff has been called. Right, they've been proven that they weren't following what was going on properly. They didn't have the oversight of what was going on at the banks, and now they're having to go cap in hand with this huge monetary stimulus, which most probably the ECB is going to have to do, and the Bank of England is going to have to do as well. So, like, even if they say something like, "Oh no, we still are committed to inflation," all that sort of stuff, it's just meaningless to me at this stage. Like, it's complete. They are going to be pushed. They're backed into a corner by what happens with the banks now over the course of the next 3 months. 6 months. The difference between the deposit rate and the rate that you can get a money markets fund is like 4.5 bips. You're going to see money leaving all of these different regional banks. Deposits going to become a lot worse. And no matter what they say they're going to do, like if you listen to what the Fed said they were going to do a month ago, they've done a completely different policy over this month. And I think that's just going to keep on happening now. Like they've run out of their credibility, in my view, with the rhetoric. I just think that we are now seeing that shift in monetary policy, and whatever they say to me just feels like it's just rhetoric. It's nothing.
I disagree. It's not just rhetoric. Like right now, rhetoric is what people are speculating what they're going to say. Like people are taking pieces of what Powell said to Congress a couple of weeks ago that you haven't heard from the Fed since you've had the biggest banking crisis since the Great Financial Crisis, and you haven't heard from the Fed. Like you don't know. Like we don't know. We're just guessing whether they think inflation's in the right spot, whether they're going to be dovish, whether they're going to be hawkish, whether they're going to say, oh, now we think the banking issues are solved, we're going to carry on with the path, or, oh, we think there's greater contagion risk, we're going to become way more dovish, we have to consider that. Like, we don't have any of this information. Everyone is second guessing. So it is very important, like, whatever rhetoric they say.
I feel like credibility is gone.
But it doesn't matter. The credibility is irrelevant. Like what they say is going to impact markets. Like what they communicate with regard to who. You're right. Like who cares whether it's 25 basis points or not? I do think if it's not 25 basis points, you'll have a market reaction. But yeah, no one cares if it's 25 bits. But that's not really the point. Like it's not just whether it's a 25 basis point hike. It's what they say and communicate with regard to the terminal rate. Has that changed? Like what does the rest of the year look like for hikes? Are they going to cut this year? Like this could be the first time they actually say we may look at cutting this year rather than in 2024. Like there's a lot of information, a lot of unanswered questions, which are to do with like what the Fed wants to do, and what they do is going to impact markets. So I completely disagree with what you said. I think it's extremely, extremely important because what they say is going to guide things. And yes, like they've lost credibility, but that doesn't change the fact that actions they take will impact markets, and that's what we're talking about here.
But I also think the tool that we're focusing on is not the tool that's important. Like a 25 bit difference in interest rates.
That's not what I'm saying.
It's one of the biggest tools, but like
I get it. I'm not saying 25 basis points makes a difference. I'm saying what they say for the rest of the year and what they communicate.
They're not going to say anything, right? What they're going to say is like
they may say nothing. They may say nothing. They may say nothing, and it's just irrelevant. But they may say something, and it's super important. So on that ground, it's very, very important.
I would say base case, they're going to go out. I'm telling you right now what they're going to say. They're going to come out and say, we're still really committed to bring down inflation. We don't think the banking crisis is that bad. We think what we've done already is like enough to help short the liquidity. Will be there to give more liquidity if needed. That's what they're going to say. And it's going to be like, okay, there's nothing new has been added to that information. The market will go wild on it. But what's happening right now is just like so beyond, it's not beyond their control, but like it's beyond this rhetoric. It's like, right, it's really what happens now is we're going to see a widespread banking issues, which is already starting to spiral. And their moves, if we'd listened to what they said at the press conference a month ago, I don't think it's going to be that different to what they say at the press conference this month. And yet their policy has changed massively over the course of that month. So I just feel as though what we're really now looking for is like we can kind of read how this situation is going to play. And the idea that we're all sitting here waiting for what the Fed is going to do, it's just like it's beyond their control now, in my opinion. And I just think that we should be just looking 3 steps ahead rather than waiting for them to give some sort of signal. When if we've been doing that, we would have missed what happened over the last month.
I think there's a difference in between the Fed losing credibility or not being able to affect it and all that kind of stuff, or what can they really say? I think there's a difference between that versus things that they say being actually impacting markets. And I think that's a distinction to make. Like, I get it. Exactly. Someone said the Fed lost credibility, but what they say is not irrelevant. Clayton Bruno, and I think that's 100% right. Like things they say will cause moves, and you have to be prepared for that. And if you think about it, like the biggest moves we had last year were all after the FOMC. All the biggest moves last year were after the FOMC, and I think this is no different.
I guess why I got frustrated about it is because today it was all I've seen. Like, oh, this is the biggest FOMC, and I just feel like it's such a short-term mindset for such a big-term thing, like a long-term thing that's happened. Like people are missing the wood from the trees. They're missing the idea that we are about to see the shift in monetary policy, whether the Fed says it tomorrow or not. Like this is what is happening. They're being forced into a corner throughout the world. This is what is happening. And if you're sitting there going like, right, I'm going to trade the 5% move or even 10% move on the back of in the few hours, or the volatile moves that we always see after a Fed, you're just missing what is happening. You're missing that we're seeing a big shift here, the first shift that we've seen in 2.5 years. And that's the shift. So don't sit there waiting for the FOMC to be your signal. Like the signal's already happened. It might be volatile on that day. And maybe you're a short-term trader, like maybe you're KBM and you'll know how to trade this short-term. But if not, then just take a step back and be like, right, this is the situation that you're in. You're about to see a massive change in monetary policy, no matter what the Fed says. And like, don't miss like the big thing. That's all I would implore people to do. Like the idea that like we have such a focus on this event feels like we're just missing the wood from the trees way too much for most traders who aren't swing traders. Like most people aren't. If we were in our old jobs, I would agree with you. Like we'd be sitting there going like, right, this is going to be big. There's going to be some big volatile moves. It will go up and down 5%. It'll swing. But if you're sitting there and you only trade ETH, or you only really move your portfolio like once a month or once every week, or you'll have big plays, just take a step back, this is big shift in policy already happening. And don't miss that, like, Bitcoin is still down a ton, ETH is still down a ton. That there will be some huge like trend moves here, not like the daily.
I think trends will be defined by what they say, and I think they were defined by what they said last year, and I think they'll be defined by what they said this year, because I think there's been a lot of things that's happened since the last FOMC, right? All the inflation data has got materially worse. PPI, payrolls. We had that huge payrolls number, 517K, after the last FOMC. PCE's got materially worse as well. The only thing that was in line was CPI for the last month. The month before, CPI was materially worse. So you've had the inflation back rhetoric get actually worse than what we wanted to have, and that's changed since last FOMC. You've had SVB, First Republic, Credit Suisse, UBS buying them, like the biggest events for over a decade in the banking world. That's all happened since the last FOMC. So I think it's very tough to say that doesn't bear any relevancy, and it's very tough to say that doesn't bear an extreme amount of relevancy, because it's big. It doesn't, like, even if it's 25 bips, like, who cares? But what they say is very big and it's very important. And to be honest with you, if they say what you just said, where they just say, where they're very light and they just say, oh, we still are committed to inflation, we think, we've taken some steps to address this, I think markets will sell off, because I think markets are up because they're expecting them to be somewhat dovish. And I think if they don't say anything, I do think markets will sell off. And not saying anything in itself is also a big thing, because look, we've had a lot of bad shit happen in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I think the one thing that's keeping markets up, and probably even keeping crypto up, I know people say like banks failing is good for crypto, but I think the real thing is the prospect of having lower interest rates at some point this year. And you've had a huge rally in interest rates. So if they just say like, oh, we're committed to solving inflation and we'll just see how it goes, and that's all they say, I think we'll sell off. I really think
Haven't they already effectively said that? Like, they made a statement.
They made a statement.
But they made a statement. There has been some communication.
Doesn't count because they haven't sat down. When Powell speaks at a front conference, he just says what he says at that moment in time. When they do the FOMC, they sit down for 2 years with every single other member of the Federal Reserve. They come to a vote on the interest rate decision, and they all convene. They have a proper like tete-a-tete about it, right? Like, that's so different to Powell giving a speech or speaking at Congress. It's so different.
No, not since Congress. I'm talking about after they did the intervention, they put out a statement. Yellen then went out and basically said, "Look, we're not saving any of the other banks. We think this is enough." So you already kind of know what they're going to say. They are going to say what I just said, which is, right, we think we've done enough, and we will be there to provide more liquidity if possible. Like, they already said, there's that $25 billion facility, and that they will be willing to increase it if necessary. I'm almost certainly that's the picture they will paint, and then they will say, look, we're still committed to bringing down inflation, and they'll raise by 25 bips. And maybe the market does sell off there, but I just feel as though we're missing here is that there's just been so much happen now, and it just really doesn't feel like what they are going to say to me. I know it might cause a short-term volatility, but people are going to miss the idea that there are bigger trends happening than just the FOMC minutes here. And I feel as though the credibility of those minutes being like the thing is missing what's happened over the last 3 weeks.
I just think what's happened over the last 3 weeks requires for there to be statement on monetary policy and possible changes. And that's why I think that will define the trend, because I think markets are looking for that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I just feel as though we're going to keep on doing this, right? Every single month, it's like, oh, it's the biggest one ever. And I thought that, and I thought every single time, and even the previous ones that we've had, like December, January, I agree. They were some of the biggest ones when I felt like that mattered. But now I feel like it doesn't matter what they say. Like, the banking crisis happens, irrelevant of basically what they say in their FOMC minutes. First Republic didn't go down because of the FOMC minutes. None of these other banks went down because of the FOMC, and Credit Suisse didn't. Like, this is happening in a different plane, and whatever they say, they're going to be backed up against a corner if banks start going on a regional basis and globally, all these central banks. So like, I'm just kind of done with the focus on it and the idea that people are like, oh my god, it's like the biggest thing. I guess I'm making my plays accordingly based on what we've seen over the last month, not based on this. And yeah, I agree with you. Like maybe the market does sell off. Like maybe we do have a 5-10% dip, but even then, I feel like you're missing the idea that we're seeing those big shifts that are already happening, irrelevant of what their rhetoric is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah.
Well, that was a great conversation.
It's a bit spicy, that one, huh?
You like the meme I made real quick on the computer?
That was a good meme.
I chopped that up in 2 seconds. And I posted it as well. It's pinned at the top of the Twitter Spaces. If you guys are on Twitter and not on YouTube, I put that on the Jumbotron on YouTube while they were talking. That's why we laughed in the middle, but it's pinned at the top. That was a great conversation, honestly. Myself, Camilla, and a few other people are melting, but I'm sure that a lot of people got, definitely get it. Question is, after listening to all this, are we, and not we, like this show, like people, putting too much emphasis on the FOMC every month with regards to cryptocurrency?
You're trying to get us back into it.
From someone on the outside, but I do, like you guys, like I don't day trade and all that, but I make my trades. I look at the market every day and I listen closely because of YouTube every morning. But I'm just a participant in the crypto like ecosystem and NFTs. I don't do markets, traditional, anything.
So my argument was that for the last 4 or 5 months, remember, we had very little volatility in crypto. Like ETH didn't really move from like 1,500 for a long period. Bitcoin didn't move. That was like 2, 3, 4 months. And the biggest event every single month was just, right, we're waiting for the FOMC. We're waiting for the FOMC. And we would sit here and we would be like, yeah, it's going to be huge, whatever they say. And we would move on the back of the FOMC. Whereas this month, I just feel like I'm not waiting for the FOMC. It's already happened. Mm-hmm. And I agree, like Ovi, we might see they might come out and say something really different, but I just feel like I'm not waiting for it this month like I was on the other months, because nothing else was going on, rather than let's see if they slightly change the rhetoric. Whereas this month, I feel like so much has, and I have so much information going into this that I never had before. Is
it like mostly short-term or mid-term traders that will care for this? And like, because it's like, I remember like a couple weeks ago when I took my big position on ETH, and I had a friend text me like, oh, you're crazy, like taking this big position going into FOMC. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about FOMC. Me personally, I know you got maybe your space, like whatever. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about FOMC. You know what I mean? I mean, it's great. I know we have to talk about it once a month, and then I get to hear you guys go at it, and it's an incredible conversation. But I was just wondering if the crypto space puts too much emphasis on it. But I understand in the context of the current banking crisis, it is more important than the other times. And maybe that's what you mean, Ovi, that at its current stage is important.
It's funny you say that. Does the crypto space put too much emphasis on it? Because I actually think I'm more focused on the FOMC now than I ever was when I was working at Barclays. And maybe that's because most of the time we went through QE and there wasn't really much to say. And I guess maybe there were some important moments in like 2018 or like during COVID, but I never it was never the thing where like I was like, oh, today's the FOMC, like everyone, it was always about payrolls. Like it was always like, oh, this is payrolls, this is going to be huge. And FOMC, inflation, all this stuff. Like I really like barely paid attention to the stuff, and I didn't trade a macro product, so maybe that's what it is. And now crypto is a big macro product. So
macro was so boring when we were traders, though, as well, right?
It was boring.
Inflation was low for a long time. People forget this. It's been low for like 15 years, and monetary policy, like they were dull as dishwater. Those minutes, they basically be like, yeah, we're keeping rates low again. We're keeping rates low again. I don't know. Like maybe if we're in the seats, do you think if you're in the seats right now, it wouldn't be? I think it would be a bit of a big deal.
I think it would be a big deal, yeah, because I think the story's changed, hasn't it, from when we were working? The story's changed from I guess like the last year we were working with this whole like, oh, the Fed's not cutting rates, the Fed's not raising rates, and inflation keeps going higher. I think we just started to get into that, but I think we were also too busy swinging around to really pay attention.
I put a poll out. I'm gonna pin it at the top. and it's at the bottom right for the people listening on Twitter Spaces, is do you care about FOMC? Yes, no, or I don't even get it. And you're allowed to say you don't get it, because I think I don't know if I get it. I probably half get it, but I definitely won't be wandering around, dinner with my family acting like I know what the FOMC means if they ask me. So
if I'm honest, like you could be the smartest person in the room about the FOMC, and you could still lose money on FOMC.
yeah, no, I'm sure. I mean,
Like,
look at how
it
volatile.
doesn't get you like super smart.
Yeah, this is how volatile it was while you guys were talking. You guys talking volatility? I mean, look at this. This is just while you guys were going back and forth on FOMC and whatnot, and obviously it's a very volatile day. So it seems like things are. Pardon?
There's a big wick there on ETH.
This thing. Look at this is ETH. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
That's
for example, like we're doing the show with KBM later.
Yeah.
And like, unfortunately, we had to change the times, and it's going to be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And KBM's like, this is going to be one of the biggest days of the whole month. Like, this is difficult. So we're kind of going to lead the whole conversation as well. But for traders, short-term traders, or let's say you do multiple trades a day, or maybe multiple trades a week, this can be a very big event. Like, this is volatility equals profits normally for traders, both ways, or losses. So it's normally a time to be focused, and KBM could be the smartest person going into the FOMC, but he'll be a technical trader. He normally will try and fade whatever initial move there is. What you tend to often see on FOMC is like it goes one way really aggressively, and then like within the next 5 minutes it goes the other way. So generally, if you're a short-term trader, you're just looking to buy low, sell high all day, and hope you can make money out of it.
Oh well, I mean, good luck to the short-term traders out there. I don't think I'd stomach something like that. It's sickening, the space. Too volatile, bro. Dude, one moment you're up like crazy, next moment you're down everything. So it's pretty wild. But anyways, so I guess heading into FOMC, which is the important part, is during your show at Rec Radio, right? So around 2 p.m. usually, and then it's like 2 to 3, right? There's like the first 30 minutes, the back 30 minutes, I forget. It's always something like that. And so Mike 3. Hey, Mike 3 came to YouTube. Fumble Our Money Club. Yeah, exactly. FOMC. Fumble Our Money Club. JB Goggin. Pretty sure FOMC says STUBS to 1 ETH. And then Idol Alchemist says the general rule is don't trade around the FOMC because of that volatility. Yes. Honestly, unless you're like a KBM or someone very used to this and does it a lot, then even the KBMs of this world will like make big gains but could also lose a lot of money. Don't touch it. So unless you're like someone with that experience, don't touch it. But anyways, looking like going into it with Bitcoin at 28.6, Ethereum 18.06, and if I'm looking at the other coins, I mean, Ripple is the one that had a mega day. I mean, it's up 22% on 7 days. It's up 5 points in 24 hours. I don't know what happened there, if it was relative to the case or whatever.
It will be related to the case.
But it's there. Look, I can't ignore it, right? It's like just in my face, 22%. Cardano also is having a massive, like, the two of those are just like the two big gainers here. Dogecoin had a rip yesterday. I guess Nick was right. He sent the punks down and he sent Doge up. And then so that's what happened. I did see a tweet from USF earlier today saying that you're looking into Doge and whatnot and the shit coins. And the funny thing is, right? I was texting us yesterday. So are we back with GameStop? Are the stonks back, boys? Did you guys play stonks back in your 2 years ago?
I actually trade GameStop bonds, but it was not
really
during everything that happened.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I did, but I mean, there were like core constraints and nothing really. There was just nothing to do. But
yeah, this is funny. This takes me back because that was the period right before I found out about NFTs during like COVID and like I was locked in my apartment in Montreal with curfew. Like literally, like you're not allowed to go out your home. So that was that period. So it always makes me takes me back to that period, which then I took that money and I got wrecked by Robinhood, put into crypto, and that's when I got started. So I was like, that's not bad if you ask me, right? But what happened post that is that Doge ripped. I'll never forget. So during the whole like short squeeze from GME and AMC, right after this, when Robinhood like cut the valve and said, fuck you guys, we're rugging y'all, like you can't trade GME and AMC, and everything tanked. I had lost everything I had made on BlackBerry, GME, and AMC from options. And so I was like, fuck this thing. Like, we have external people controlling my shit. I can't even trade after 4 p.m. I'm here like stressing out about after hours. I'm like, what's going to happen? I have to wake up at 9 in the morning. Sorry, I have to be on it at 9 a.m. like right as the shit opens up, or 9:30, I forget. Is it 9? It's 9:30, right? And then And that's what made me look into crypto. And I was like, yo, fuck this. Like, this is stupid. You know, like I want to be able to have fun on weekends. So that was funny. That was what got me onto it. And then I rode Doge like on a I don't even remember the trade. It was nuts. It was like from 3K to like 25 G's and then sold it all to get into the space. So it was definitely a fun time. But anyway, so I guess we'll see what happens then. I mean, I guess for anyone more curious about the FOMC and like what's going to happen, like I would be tuned in live during Rect Radio later. That's what I'm going to do because they have Mando, Ovi, and Keyboard. And on top of that, today's guest happens to be Raul Pal. So, you know, it's like macro daddies on macro daddies, you know.
It's gonna be a real macro daddy show, isn't it?
It's gonna be a
how are we gonna do it? Because like the press conference is during the thing, so we're gonna have to have like a.
I was gonna text you guys.
Tells me like Raul Pal is gonna be pretty chilled. I think he's done all right for himself.
You should get like a transcript of it up on the side at the same time.
Like that Gergevin guy. You know those unusual whales or Gergevin fucking listening to the FOMC on Twitter Spaces all day long and giving their notes, except that you guys actually bring a lot of value. Like just do something like that where like your live like report what's happening at the FOMC while talking to Raul chill, but like report live like what, and then have this conversation as per like I'm curious to hear his thoughts on like what you guys were talking about just now. Like
you mean like Mario Northwell style?
Yeah, but except that you guys actually bring value and like don't spread false information. So yeah, honestly, that's pretty much what I'm saying. But you know, the valuable version of that. Anyways, I see y'all on YouTube. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got a lot of stuff going on. Jazzy Boy's been working hard on that YouTube, so you know a lot more coming on that front. And we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe there, like, comment, and do all that good stuff. And if you're on Spaces, pin at the top is a poll about the FOMC. 34% of people so far seem to say they don't even get it. So I'm in that thing. If I could vote, I would click that just so y'all know. And then it seems, anyways, the pen top is also the YouTube link and whatnot. But anyways, let's NFTs. Let's talk about NFTs.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
Yeah, GM everyone. Look, it's been a relatively quiet, I think, day in NFTs. Things are still trending lower. I think we've gone to degens. Pudgies have had the most number of sales, but the floor has dipped kind of markedly down to like 4.5, which is strange. Like Pudgies were pushing 7, I think, and everyone felt very strong about that IP, that play. I only have ever seen positive stuff about them. So to see weakness there kind of proves that the fact that Pudgies are now at 4.5.
No.
4.4.
It's market-wide though, right?
That's what I mean. It proves that it's a market-wide thing. Because I think everyone has been saying positive stuff about Pudgy Penguins. And then to see that now go to 4.4, you know, like the market clings to the winners.
I mean, look at the red. By the way, love this new font.
Yeah, that's your doing, my friend.
My eyes are thanking you right now. Like it looks so nice. It's my sorry guys. I'm like, you know me, it's perfect.
This new font's good, isn't it? Actually, I love
my god! You see, because we show it every morning, right? And I have it on my monitor, and god damn, it looks so clean. Like, here, let me zoom in even more. Look at this. It's perfect. It's perfect. Anyways, go on, Mando. Sorry.
But look, the Bored Apes are now at 58. It's quite a big move there now, and CryptoPunks are now at 62. So they are closer together, but still trending lower. They're both down about 5% over the last 24 hours. Pretty much everything is down. Like
there's nothing going on. Honestly, put it this way.
Interestingly, Nouns are back up to 42, which has been one of the only ones that's like moved. They're up 50% over the last week. Nouns. So maybe people returning to that.
How much is Nouns going for right now? There's here 650.
Obviously, there's a Noun a day. But
yeah, so 33s yesterday, and then 36.
Cleaned up a lot of the ones which were in the 20s and 30s, really around there. Mainly in the 20s, I think a lot traded.
Yeah, seems like it's been 25, 20, look like 25, 26, 25, 26, 20. It's around 26 ETH that they've been going for every day. Okay.
But I think what's interesting about this move is that normally in sell-offs, you've seen the top performers do well, right? NFT bear markets normally happen because the top projects kind of stay stable and everything else goes lower. That's generally how we've seen NFT bear market. If you go onto DGens and you look at and you sort by floor price and you go on like a 30-day, it's actually been quite a dangerous period here.
You're right. Floor
some of the-
price, 30 days like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from like some generative AI where it's like traded once in the month, like
Yeah.
Bored Apes are down 25%, Ringer's down 23%. Where my bands go is now at 20 ETH. Like that's madness. Azuki's probably been the only one that is stayed relatively around 14, but Grift is down 20. Cyberconk's Genesis down 25. Mutant 8's down 20.
Where
This
Griffin
is
now?
they're at 14-ish, 13 and a half.
Wow. Yeah.
Chromie Squiggles down 15. Like this has been a butchery mainly at the top, I would say, or at least like that's been a lot of pain. Like it's obviously gone down throughout, but it's kind of remarkable to see that blue chips, like even the stuff that not like fake blue chips, people that are like, yeah, this is a blue chip, they're really getting hurt here. So it's
I'm very surprised about where my Vans go, but that's
wild, right? I was looking at it because I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy one.
Yeah.
But then there's like 3 for sale.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not a short term. Like it's not like I have.
It's not
something you keep for like 10. Like it's
bring that up on OpenSea, for example. And I'm like, I was looking at the ones because I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a New York where my Vans go.
You should, honestly.
But it's just it's remarkable to see like this weakness, like even in things that people really vibe with.
I mean, it's probably people taking their coins, right? Like it's like if you look at if they've traded before, I'm looking at them. They've only been transferred. No, this was a 0.5 ETH mint, right? For most people. So most people got into where my Vans go at 0.5 ETH early on. So they're probably just. I'm looking at the ones for sale right now. It seems that they've never moved. They're people that minted.
Yeah. So I think remember he did an extra 10, which I think minted around that sort of level.
Yeah, this one's mine, right there.
But it does surprise me, like that how top heavy this has also felt. CryptoPunks, I guess if you look at them on a 30-day, they've kind of unchanged. But like even them, people were like, oh, everything's selling off, but CryptoPunks are higher. Even they had moved lower now. And it's not like CryptoPunk floor looks that healthy to me even right now. Like I still believe that they're going to go to 90 to 100, but like this, it's just not looking healthy throughout. And there's a lot of like you can feel it on the timeline. I had lunch with someone actually yesterday, and I was like, it's kind of funny because 3 years ago, if you tweeted out "I love NFTs," you would have got a ton of people being like, "Oh yeah, I love NFTs too," or 2 years ago, yeah, like this is awesome, we're going to change the world. If you tweet out "I love NFTs," I reckon you get a lot of people being like, "Fuck you," like, and they probably even have like an NFT profile picture. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not got a great feeling in the timeline right now, where there's a lot of like accusations and pointing and just like, I noticed it because I just noticed the things that come up with the highest engagement are the ones
we should all
tweet calling out projects like day in, day out at the moment. And not that they shouldn't, but it's remarkable to see that even if you love NFTs right now, there's a lot of people who are not in love with what's happened over the last 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I forgot I was talking I was talking to someone about like YouTube and like creators and the NFTs on YouTube and whatnot. And like, of course, like most of the YouTubers even swap to AI and like more tech it's like an actual fact. Like most of the, like besides maybe like 3 people that do content on NFTs, which was why I personally think it's a great time for us to go full YouTube and whatnot. But you know, look, I think it's about the less interest. People now don't love it. It's just like, it's kind of like, you know how like in like football, like you have like all these like actual diehard fans, and then you have the fans that are just here when Ronaldo is playing at Man U, or like when Man U will win, or then the second Liverpool start winning, like they'll just be like big Salah fans. you know, similar to like Messi, Ronaldo, like the Clasico, like one day you're Barca fan, the next day you're fucking Man City fan, and then after this you're like Paris. You know, to me, like it's the same thing. In the space, right? It's like, hey, like I'm into NFTs. The next day I'm into digital collectibles, and after this, I'm into AI, and after AI, I'll be into the next thing where I can go and suck some money and attention in. But I just like, I think it's interesting. I think this is this effect. It's just people being down bad. Also, like a bad taste in people's mouths. Because look, a lot of stuff is down really, 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 really bad. So like most of it, like everything, we just showed it. Like even the big projects are down. And that's not because they're not producing. Like Pudgy Penguins is delivering. It's one of people's favorite projects in the space. Lucanets is out there, but it's still down. So there's nothing you like, you know what I mean? It's no matter how, and that's something I think about a lot. And I know we talk about this a lot, and I talk about this a lot with you guys. I had a whole convo about it with Ovi the other day. It's like, I'm looking at our stuff. I'm like, well, we're always doing cool shit. We're out here. And it's just not necessarily going up per se. And I've just accepted the fact that you just have to just keep going. And like, I was talking to Icebags about this. I got on the phone with him, just connecting like this. Like, what's up with you? Like, I was giving his flowers for Kenpai Pandas and everything they're doing. He was telling me about, that they've got whole lot of cool stuff lined up and they're working hard. And even he was like, I've just accepted the fact that like, I just got to keep showing up and building this through this bear and whatnot. And then after that, we'll just go back to like flowers and people being all happy and like talking about NFTs and whatnot. You feel me?
Yeah, sorry, I thought I'd been speaking for a bit. So I just muted myself to shut myself up.
These guys are exhausted after the debate earlier.
No, I just felt like I had. So I guess it was my segment, but yeah, look, I agree. Like it kind of feels like it did June of last year or like July. Do you remember when we were like, look, just show up?
Bro, we were down bad. Like we were texting each other, all three of us. One day was each one of us had one day we would each have like our down days. Some days I'd be like, yo, what the fuck, bro? And then some days man would be like, dude, I'm sick. He's like, every day I wake up 10% down. I check price, bad price. But like the real version of that meme, there was that one. Remember, like we went like 11 red candle weekly reds in a row last year. It was like the first time ever or something, Obi. Like because I think before it was Bitcoin.
I think it was 30, maybe even 13. Yeah, I can't remember the number.
13, yeah, we had broken that record of like the most weekly red candles, and we were just like weekly after weekly after weekly after weekly red. Oh man, that was shit, bro. Speaking of it, while we're talking though, let me tell you that those candles on Ether are looking great, but it's probably going to be a crazy day, right? Because the most important FOMC of the year, and of the last 12 months, I'm kidding, man. Don't look at me like that. I'm just kidding. But that's honestly about it. Like even this morning, I tuned into Nifty Pro real quick, and they were like, "Well, what else is happening in NFTs?" And then they were all like,
"Tweet out, I love NFTs. Let's see how this goes."
You did? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go copy pasta. I'm going to tweet out everybody in here. There you go. Everybody in here do the same thing. Let's make NFTs lovable again. So we're just going to go out here and I'm going to copy pasta exactly this tweet from Recmando. Extremely original right there. Boom, send. There you go. It's out. The pasta's out. The pasta's out. Dude, I got to say, though, this is the best thing in NFTs this week. Nick going viral right after coming on the show and like Space Carbon just going ham on the tweets. I gotta share a couple on here because Davis is so funny. It was just dude, he went so crazy on it too, and it was just so funny to me. Mom, can I have a Punk NFT? No, we have a Punk NFT. Oh my god, it's so good, dude. This is the best. This is probably the most important event in NFTs this week. It's
the shades as well. Like it just makes the whole outfit like.
It's the whole thing. It's him. It's also knowing him, and how like actual funny he is, It is just like it's. I wanted to share more of these yesterday, and it's just like look at this. Oh my! This is great. This is the Trump one. It's absolutely insane. Oh my god! What do you say here?
Did you see
Wow.
the AI Trump yesterday?
Yeah. The
It's gonna get
Donald Trump,
wild.
dude. We should share that. That was crazy. Hold on, let me search it, dude.
Now we're turning into an AI show, guys. It's GMAI plus
GMAI. I mean, we do talk about AI a lot. We could just totally have a segment on AI once a week where we just talk about everything that happened this week in AI. And I mean,
genuinely.
I know you're all over it. I've been ever since you were like AI pilled me hard, and I've been reading about it every day. And I know G-Man, who listens to us a lot and helps us out on a bunch of stuff. He always has the updates. But those are AI generated pictures of Donald Trump being arrested. And this just goes to show you, like, be careful, y'all. Like, you're gonna start hearing, like, especially us, we have our voices out there every day on socials. Like, it's so easy to recreate and images and whatnot. It's just gonna get like it's just gonna get dangerous. I mean, shit. It's this shit is pretty wild. But anyways, also on NFTs, I think that's about it. I mean, yeah, besides Ape at 58 and Punks at 60.
The other stuff is like the Bitcoin NFT mark, like
Yeah, that
it's
is
build out.
That is going crazy. That's going.
It's just trying to
absolutely
build out
wild.
the infrastructure of it. So I think Magic Eden have
Yeah.
launched, or they have announced the launch of their Bitcoin marketplace, which, yeah, it's the first major exchange that you've heard of who's now done that. Magic Eden obviously moved into. They're basically just following whatever DeGods do. So they moved into Polygon, and now they're moving to Bitcoin. Let's call a spade, right? Like, they literally just
Magic Eden is probably Magic Eden is the DeGods marketplace. You should just find it. When DeGods went to Polygon, they immediately made this collaboration with Polygon. It was a massive announcement. Ryan Foyes was going all over it and shit. It was funny. And then now that they're onto Bitcoin, they did the thing. But I gotta say, because I did look at it last night, and my first thought wasn't that. My first thought was, gotta give them credit for it. Like, they just like adapt and change so fast, and they just follow along. And look, like, maybe they'll find their space in there by doing that, and maybe not. But at least, I like that they're trying a bunch of different things. By the way, 30 people liked your tweet, Mando. 30 people liked your tweet. 63 people are liking mine. So we have people that like NFTs, that love NFTs. Ovi, did you tweet the copy pasta? Or are you too cool for us?
I love NFTs.
Obi was just reply going me.
Of course.
It's a good reply though.
Yeah. I mean, look, speaking of tweets today and whatnot, I do want to have a conversation about this one. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I do want to ask Ovi. OSF Rec, Ovi, today at 9:40 a.m. on March 22nd, 2023, tweeted out, "I feel something in my balls, period." What did you mean by that?
Intentionally ambiguous. I think those who know
Larry Mary.
Yeah, those who knows what it means when I feel something in my balls.
Tell us what does it mean? Is it like is this an FOMC subtweet? Is this
it's etched in like real like hard rect guy law. And I don't want to.
You said a couple of things in a good way, I think. Yep, the OSF's balls are tingling bullish. Huh. I mean, Greg asked if you were pregnant. He's got 100.
I missed that.
Too.
I love Greg. I mean, Greg is so iconic. Sora said, "I feel something in your balls." Wait. Yeah, and yeah. But anyways, okay, I guess we'll see. And we'll see what happens on that front. And in other NFT news, I don't know if you had followed this, guys, but a few months ago, I saw an article on the New York Times as well. I don't know if you remember, but during this like really big Sotheby's auction where Silly Tuna sold his alien punk for $10 million, he had acquired Quantum by I can't believe the name just left. Wow, by Kevin McCoy. That is Kevin McCoy. Which technically this is like the first NFT ever, and it's from 2014. Right. It was on Namecoin, and he had bought it for $1.47 million US. It was crazy. We were on Twitter Spaces, and he just like sold his alien for 10 mil and fucking bought the thing. That was like early days, like crazy vibes. And there was a whole like legal battle over it. And I think and it's just done. So it says judge dismisses lawsuit over ownership of $1.47 million NFT. The legal battle over Quantum is part of a larger effort to define rules of ownership for digital artworks. I kind of wanted to bring this to people's attention. I thought it was interesting to see what happened. Obviously, Kevin McCoy, like OG legend. I mean, arguably one of the most important artists of our space. And it was interesting. It was super interesting to see this go down a few months ago. And I guess this morning I was going through a timeline and
Sorry,
saw,
what was the lawsuit like?
yeah, so it's the lawsuit was that a federal court last Friday dismissed a lawsuit that questioned the ownership rules around an NFT called Quantum, which Sotheby's sold for 1.47 million in 2021 as the first of its kind. The legal battle had become part of a larger effort to define rules of ownership for digital artworks. Basically, a Canadian company named Free Holdings brought the complaint last year against the auction house and the artist, Kevin McCoy, who created the artwork in 2014 as a demonstration of the blockchain's potential to register artworks on a digital ledger system. The artwork itself looks like something from a science fiction movie, as if it were an alien wormhole pulsing with neon colors. The dispute arose because the blockchain system that McCoy used for Quantum also required him to periodically renew his ownership rights. Most web domains operate by similar rules, but the artist neglected to renew the terms of ownership, which allowed Free Holdings to purchase the registration and assert ownership over the work itself. The company subsequently accused Sotheby's and Kevin McCoy of slander, commercial disparagement. So basically, this web fucking thingy, so that he didn't renew like the web thing to like register like the artwork, and they claimed ownership over the artwork itself. But that artwork had sold at Sotheby's on auction to Silly Tuna, and so they came back and they probably saw like years later that it sold for $1.5 million, and they sued him, claiming that they actually own the piece that was just sold at Sotheby's a couple years ago, and so that was dismissed. So obviously they lost, but it was interesting to see that. He says that the judge, James Scott, dismissed the case and wrote that Free Holdings had failed to establish his claims of ownership and injury. Says Free Holdings has demonstrated nothing more than an attempt to exploit open questions of ownership in the still developing NFT field to lay claim to the profits of a legitimate artist, Josh Scott said in the dismissal. So this is actually positive news for both Kevin McCoy and the NFT space. But I thought it was interesting. I think it's flew under a lot of people's radar because they didn't make a big deal out of it, but it's kind of a big deal. I mean, there was a lawsuit over the ownership of the first ever NFT. Like, this is the first one, 2014. Kevin McCoy, for the more you know, fun fact for people that weren't aware, and it's called Quantum. It's actually really cool. And if you look into Kevin McCoy's work, like you have a different level of appreciation for what this is specifically, the image that you see. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. It's like, I don't know. I thought it was fun that they put that out. And so yeah, this is it. Look how crazy this thing is, bro. This is so sick. Yeah. Kevin McCoy's. Do you guys have anything from Kevin?
No.
His work is crazy. I don't think so either. I would love to have one of his pieces. But yeah, anyways, so they're saying
I love how they just use the second half of the article to just attack NFTs.
Yeah, look, the bull market responsible for the bidding war that produced such a high auction price for Quantum no longer exists. And the broader market for NFTs or non-fungible tokens has experienced a 97% decline in sales. But that hasn't stopped the industry from turning a profit, nor has it discouraged creators from using NFTs as ownership records for their digital artworks. You know what? That's actually good. I like that. They're saying we haven't stopped.
I mean, they basically cherry-picked the worst bit of data that we had from middle
I
of last year.
know. We know that. Yeah, it's bullshit. Then they're talking about the Maison Rothschild lawsuit with Hermes, that Hermes won the trademark lawsuit on that, and that he's appealing it. That's gonna be an interesting lawsuit to follow, because I'm sure it's gonna go pretty. There's gonna be at some point like a Supreme Court ruling on something with regards to NFTs, and it's gonna be super interesting to see what happens. And then of course crypto, but in general. But I don't know. It's by comparison, some legal experts view the Quantum decision as empowering digital artists. So I definitely agree on that point. And I guess we'll see. I don't think Kevin McCoy said anything on the case.
The other thing that I'd seen was just that Sony filed. I think it was a patent. I think it was basically saying that they're gonna use NFTs, or at least like an NFTs within their ecosystem, so you could like transfer it between consoles to TVs to just various different devices that they own, maybe smart like tablets and that sort of stuff, which is quite big. I mean, obviously Sony PlayStation is probably the biggest console in the world. So the idea that they're looking at the idea that you can use NFTs over multiple devices probably proves. And if I'm honest, like I think utility can have various different forms, but gaming is still going to be probably the biggest onboarding process in terms of utility style NFTs. They might not be how we kind of want them to be. I think we have the dream is for an interoperable style world, and I still think that it'll probably be very close end, but there will be still use of some NFT technology. It'll probably feel a lot more like, I don't know, Flow, or a lot more like one of these more centralized platforms like Nifty Gateway, where you can kind of only ever trade the NFT maybe inside the platform, but you do have real ownership of it. But I think that that it feels like that's the route that Sony's going.
I like that.
Maybe we'll see what happens.
No, I love that. And I love the fact that the patent application also noted that in some examples, the NFT can be used cross-generationally, example from PS4 to PS5, because like obviously you want to upgrade your console, and every few years when it comes out, it's always a big event, right? The PS5 is like impossible to get. It's like a sneaker. It's like you have to buy on secondary and stuff like that, on StockX and whatnot. It's already hard to find, but like what happens to all your assets from before, which is the bullish case on Web3 gaming, but then you have giants like that are acknowledging it. So it's funny, for every giant that falls and takes a step back, like Instagram, Meta, like you have a giant that just steps forward. And I think it's really interesting. So the CoinDesk article reads, entertainment and gaming console giant Sony Interactive Entertainment has filed for a patent that would make non-fungible tokens, NFT, transferable between different games and consoles. The patent, originally filed last week, would allow players of Sony products such as its flagship PlayStation to have an interoperable Web3 gameplay experience. Gamers would be allowed to transfer in-game assets between devices such as VR headsets, tablets, computers, and smartphones. So yeah, it's super cool. The application goes into the detail around how NFTs would work for achievements and tournaments, noting in some example embodiments, the task may include a victory in an esports tournament, and the digital asset may be usable via the NFT by the first end user entity across plural different computer simulations. So really interesting. I mean, Google it for those of you who are interested. There's a bunch of articles on it. The one I was quoting here is, of course, a CoinDesk article saying that Sony filed a patent for NFTs to allow transfers between games and consoles. This is cool, right? I mean, news like this, it can only be positive. And by the way, I'm seeing the time. If Orkhant, if you're in the audience, definitely please send us a request. I'm not sure I see Orkhant, honestly, in the audience, but definitely shoot a request to speak at the bottom left of the Twitter space. Yes, he is there. Let's go. But in other news, I mean, I'm looking through the rest of the stuff. I mean, Polygon and Immutable. That was the big news yesterday. I'm just going to go over it very quickly. We don't need to go into too much detail. I mean, there's nothing much else to it besides the fact that here, let me just share my screen. But, it says Polygon Immutable partner to help onboard more gamers and developers into Web3. So it was actually a pretty big one. I don't know, Mando, if you had the time to look at it, but I thought it was interesting to see the co-founder of Immutable and CEO of Polygon, which Brian Wyatt, make this happen and then team up. They said last year games building.
Immutable is a different sort of roll up, basically.
Yeah.
And the ZK technology is incredibly valuable. In fact, Polygon, they basically had to buy someone to get the ZK technology.
Wow.
They didn't do it in-house. They effectively bought a company that specialized in ZK technology and then launched the roll-up. So for some of the other layer 2 providers, you will see these sort of partnerships happen where instead of having to spend tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions on development, they just decide to piggyback off a bigger player. So I think this makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. And then it was, we got a quote from Robbie Ferguson, who's a co-founder and the president of Immutable, said, for us, this is a pretty obvious play. We realized very quickly the scaling limitations of Ethereum, but we never wanted to compete with it. And then Polygon could help Immutable avoid Ethereum congestion and costs without having to build its own alternative, which leads back to the ZKVM that you're talking about. So this is pretty big. It says last year, the games built on both platforms received $2 billion in investor funding. And it's is pretty wild. Ryan said, for me, this is like the next evolution of mainstream adoption. I sent an invite, by the way, to co-founder of Immutable to come on the show. So it would be cool to have him as a guest. And maybe with Ryan, right? Would be pretty fun. But I think this is obviously cool. It says Immutable's new zero knowledge Ethereum virtual machines, ZKVM, fancy terminology for virtual machines that compress data to improve scaling and security on the blockchain, will be powered by Polygon technology and supported on its platforms. Polygon's ZK EVM scaling technology aims to lower transaction costs while remaining compatible and secure with the layer 1 blockchain Ethereum. So yeah, super interesting. You love to see that. It's like two giants that were like, it's like competitors, right? Mando, I'm pretty sure they were competing this entire time and now they've teamed up. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I guess they are competitors. You would say they're different. Polygon has tried to do scaling in multiple different ways. One of which is a direct competitor with Immutable, and basically Immutable's being like, right, well, we'll just compete on the other things. We'll just piggyback a few of the other things. Arbitrum, for example, is a different sort of roll up to Polygon. You would still call them competitors, but admittedly they're different tech. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, you can have like frenemy style deals here between them.
I think this only makes the space better. You know, going back to on a micro level, trying to collaborate and work with more like project within the space. You know, I think it's something that probably makes the space stronger, because I think we're starting to realize that we are fighting a bigger fight over here. It's pretty wild. So anyways, before I go to Orkhan, absolute legend. Can't wait to show your works actually on the YouTube stream, because that's going to be fire. But today's code, are you ready? Are you ready, everybody? For both STUBS and the rewards program for Rug Radio. So rug.fm/rewards is where you get your rug token, and then the fair website, which you should probably bookmark, and I'm gonna pin at the top. I think it's fair.xyz/collections/STUBS. You know, maybe we'll do something. I'll redirect rug.fm/STUBS to it to make it easier. I'll do that after the show today. Didn't have the time to think about it yesterday, but we're definitely gonna make it happen. So today's code, while I try and find the STUBS announcement, there it is on the Rug Radio account. It's fair.xyz/collection/STUB. Everybody's ready. There you go. I've given you enough time to get ready, because there's only 100 STUBS today, right? Mando, is that what it is?
Only 100.
Only 100. So today's code for the STUB is listen to earn. LISTEN 2, like the number 2, earn, EARN. So we had to make them less less easy to guess, but maybe we make them in a little more complicated, adding letters and numbers into it, because now we have the whole STUBS thing added to it. So if you go to, it's very simple. I'm going to share my screen. The first few days, I may just take the time to really explain to people how this thing actually works, because we definitely want.
The Fair Guys, did you see what the Fair Guys just said? So there will still be a fee for this, but they are reimbursing anyone who did the fee.
Yeah, so basically, we were aware that there was a $1 platform fee yesterday when we said it was free, but we talked about it at the end of the thing. Everybody was already refunded. By the end of the show, everybody was refunded, which is sick. And so today, again, like there's probably going to be a $1 fee to mint it, but you're going to get the refund like immediately, so you're going to be able to have it. And so this is it. So you go on fair.xyz/collection/STUBS. And then, so you find our own, like, this is our own profile and everything. It explains to you what STUBS is. So what's cool is with STUBS is basically every single weekday of the show, Monday to Friday, we give a code and you're able to claim one STUB per person, and there's a maximum of 100 STUBS, right? It was 150 yesterday for the first day, but there's a maximum of 100 per day. Then at the end of every week on the weekend, you're going to be able to burn X amount of STUBS that you've collected over the week for an artwork from an artist that is featured of the week. And every single Monday, we'll have the artist come on the show for a segment to talk about the piece, but also to talk about their art, both on video and on audio, which is super fun. And so that's all you got to do. And in order to be able to have this, you have to either own a DApp, Degens Access Pass from Mando and OSF's ecosystem, and then any of our NFTs. PFP, Pass, or Rug Radio Genesis NFT, the rugs, in order to get it. And make sure that you put passcode, right? So you put passcode. This threw me off. It says passcode in here. I was like, wait, where's the passcode for the dApps? So you put a passcode. So today is, I don't have any faces on this wallet. That's the other. So I have a membership pass. So I go here and I put listen to earn. Let's see if I even get lucky, to mint. So you have to put the thing and then you go to claim, which is right there, mint. Boom. It's working. Let's see if I get lucky enough. And then I'm just going to start giving it away. But yeah, there you go. So Paul Moon says he has his. Michael Panigas, hell yeah. Claim for Solar. Dave Stadler, 2 for 2. I love that. Archivo, Freed Seed, Quick Sets, Ant Lockyer. So absolutely love to see it. And the code again, listen, LISTEN, 2, the letter 2, earn, EARN. And like you've seen on the screen, it worked out for me. So it should work out for anyone if you have the asset in your wallet. So make sure that the asset that you have is in the wallet that you're using in the top right on the Fair website. You can you can adjust that and make it work. So for the people showing errors, we can probably tell you why. But yesterday, what's cool with the Fair team, they're pretty quick with it and fast on it. So the reasons why some people, remember, I think Mando, Isaac wrote the reason why some people didn't manage to mint. And it was mostly like on the end of people actually not having the NFT in that wallet or putting the wrong code and things like that. He said, check the logs, and the people who couldn't mint initially just hadn't input the right password or had a typo. So that was for the most part, because we can see on our end why some things are not necessarily working out. So and then but you can start tomorrow. So again, like Mando explained yesterday super calmly, there's never a FOMO or a rush for these. There is a secondary market for it already if you want to pick them up if you want, but you also don't have to, because every day we're giving away for free 100.
Well, maybe when the artist comes on and you see the art, then there will be. But
and maybe there will be, but that will be the artist to showcase that. And speaking of artists, I mean, shit. Speaking of artists, we have quite the artist on our stage right now. Orkhan, GM, good morning. How are you doing?
GM, doing very good, guys. I just got a sick, but feeling very good and motivated. And thank you for having me here.
Dude, for sure. Orkhan, I mean, first of all, congratulations. Obviously, I saw the sale of your incredible piece of artwork that Ovi got. So it's super cool. He's obsessed with it. Let me tell you that. He made sure that every chat knew about it, and he makes sure to really explain into detail exactly why he likes it. But I understand, as a lover of rugs myself. so definitely congrats on that.
Thank you very much. This piece is, I think, I unlocked, when you are playing a game, you are unlocking a new level. With this work, I really kind of unlocked a new level in my artistic journey. I really put a lot of effort, but it's the results when I'm watching it again and again. It's mind blowing that how actually when you are dreaming about one project and it's happening with the help of collectors.
No, it's definitely happening. I mean, I remember meeting you 2 years ago at NFT NYC, and then looking at your art, and it's just so sick. So everybody should definitely check it out. I'm going to share it on the screen also if you're on YouTube. So if you want to just like come on the YouTube stream, which is pinned at the top or at the bottom right of the Twitter space, and come have a look at it. Whoops, yeah, there is cool sound to them, but I'm gonna try and not put with sound. But you see those pieces. So Orkhan, I mean, I guess first question, maybe if you wanted to present yourself and just talk about your art in general, and what you create.
So I'm new media artist, mainly focused on creating a Middle Eastern art, but using a generative art and the machine learning. So the background, the first I studied computer science. Later, I had a huge interest to design and fine arts. I choose the second university as studying that. And by the time I just combined these skills and found kind of this style, this inspiration from my own culture that we are coming from. And start work on this. And in 2019, I got an invitation to participate in Venice Biennale. It's one of the prestigious art exhibition in the world. And after that, kind of everything go well, and I became full-time.
Yeah, that's super cool. I love that, and especially being part of the Venice Biennale. But so right now, I'm obviously like that. That's a long video, so I'm just playing it without sound on the stream for people to look at it while you're talking about it. So talk to us about your medium, because it's actually really impressive the way you managed to get the final output, but the way you create is what really I think is a trip.
Sorry, can you Can you repeat?
Oh,
I
just
didn't
wanted you to talk about your medium and how you use to create.
Yeah, the my medium is kind of data driven art, and whatever I use, I create the art piece. Always there's in the initial stage, it's the research and the data collection, and my data is our cultural artifacts that locked up in museums. So with my skill set, I have a kind of the goal or the motivation that the cultural artifacts like the rugs, patterns, miniatures, or the orientals and paintings, the mostly these artworks are accessible for the for in all the museums, and it's super limited that you can find that much information and data in the internet. And while I was kind of researching and studying this topic, I had an idea and goal that I will take out these artifacts, reprocess them with the new technologies or the new ways that actually young generations and our age, they can adopt these topics and these styles very easily, like talking with their language.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, Ovi, you recently got a piece of Orkhans. Like, what made you
Yeah.
like want to like? What made you like fall for it? Like, I could tell why, because this is it, right? And it's
This is the
it's
one
just-
that I bought. Yeah. Yeah.
I just love like seeing it play on the screen. It's awesome. But what made you like? What was like your thing, right?
Yeah, look, I think this idea of AI art is obviously becoming very huge, and the concept of AI is becoming very huge. And there's a lots of AI art out there, but you really just see the outputs. So you see, oh, hey, here's something I created, and it was done with AI, and you don't really like understand how it was made. And to understand that, you have to like dig into the code that the artist wrote. Maybe they don't even publish it, and you have to kind of figure those things out for yourself. So it's difficult for a lot of people to get their heads around it and grasp it, because it's like, cool, this was made with AI, but it's just an output. And a lot of people, I think, feel like this is just an output that anyone can create, and they don't really understand the process. So this piece that above Orkhans is called Eastern Promises. The thing that I think is most amazing about it, and I wrote a thread on it, I think it's one of the pinned tweets here.
Yeah,
if
we
you guys
pinned
want
it.
to see
Yeah,
it.
it's great.
Yeah. But the thing with this is like the actual piece itself explains and actually visualizes the entire process from start to finish. And for this one, what Orkhan did is they got about, I think, 8,000 images from various museums, including the British Museum. These are all like images that are available to use for the public. And the focus was on like Orientalism, like Middle Eastern art. And most of the people that actually drew these painted these pictures in the centuries ago were Europeans, and they were painted from their fantasies or like their thoughts, or maybe from their travels and memories. So it's not, it's kind of like a European painter's depiction of the Middle East. And so Orkhan got like 8,000 of these images, fed them all into this code that they wrote, and I believe they used I can't remember what two engines you used, Orkhan. Stable Diffusion and something else. I can't remember what the other one was.
Yeah. So we used like 1 year ago with my team together, when the Stability AI published their first papers about Stable Diffusion. We started to customize it and kind of build a software that allows us operate it with a more user friendly. That it's easy to customizable. We connected 4 different machine learning models, like including the object recognition, semantic context understanding, also the clustering system, also the image generation system. So the almost the 80% of the software that customer made, just maybe the 20% is based on some reader models that gave us some infrastructure.
Yeah. So the idea is that they used all this code, like Stability AI, etc., OpenAI. That it's all like open source, I believe. So they created custom code that was built on top of that to actually read in all these images. And I think one of the functions that I think people can be a bit more familiar with is like, when you go onto like Mid-Journey or whatever, and you type in some text and it like produces the output image. Like the idea for this, and that you can actually visualize this in part of the video, is actually image to text. So you actually see like the Stability AI going through it. And it's like you'll have, I don't know, like a picture of like a man and a camel, and it literally like spits out man with camel, or I don't know, you'll have like a picture of like a carpet and a market, and it'll say like carpet market. So it'll actually like identify the objects that are in the image using AI. And that all gets fed into this big data set that they have. And then the idea is to cluster all the data. So put it into different groups. And it's like, okay, these are certain objects, these are certain themes, these are certain ideas. And once the data all gets clustered, that code then gets reversed again to then from text to image to actually create these outputs. And so the idea of this whole process was to actually use AI to feed in all the data from everything created, well, a ton of stuff created with a like Orientalism theme, feed it into the code, and then spit out like a reimagined piece from this era. And you know, after all this, I think Orkhant created 10 different one-of-ones, unique one-of-ones, and within here they are right now in the video, 10 different one-of-ones, and they're all like videos and frames, all the different things that got spat out, and some of them are really interesting inputs. Like there's one which is like I think it was like a double camel or double horse, for example. I think that was an interesting output. And those are actually the actual pieces that were created. So like some of the people actually bought these one-of-ones during Art Dubai. I think the 6529 guys bought a couple. And that was the output as a result of this, you know, whole process. And then this entire video itself is an NFT. The process itself is an NFT, and there's the one-of-one, and that's the one that I bought. But for me, it was just like there's a lot of AI art out there, and I just hadn't seen anything like this where you could actually see the entire process from start to finish and actually understand it. Like being someone who's not that familiar with AI or AI art, to actually understand it in layman's terms, and I've just never really seen anything like that done before. And you really have to like, I'd really recommend watching this video. That's on the pinned tweet, because there's some narration around it as well, and it's like a whole documentary around it. But it's really impressive, and I hadn't seen anything like this before, where you can see the whole thing from start to finish. And that's what kind of captivated me when I saw it in Dubai.
Wow. I've been playing the video by the Orkhan. I don't know if you obviously can't see it, but I've been just playing that 10-minute video the entire time on YouTube while Ovi was describing it. So it's really cool. We're 8 minutes and 28 seconds in. So we've pretty much seen it all. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm Persian, so I obviously love the style of art Orkhan like creates, right? Because like, you know, you would call it's like Middle Eastern inspired art, right? It's like ancient Persia, it's been Arabic countries and whatnot. So I just find it beautiful. But Orkhan, like, let's talk about the carpets. Let's talk about the carpets, because that is my favorite thing for sure. I'm actually about to lay a crazy Persian rug on my office floor that I'm getting from my mom, actually. So that's the real shit. But you know, Orkhan, you have a drop coming up called Carpet Diem. Love the name. 1,001 magic carpets, and it's on an OpenSea storefront here. I'm looking at it right now. It's dropping on March 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's talk about that. I mean, do you want to talk about this collection and, you know, the work that went into it?
Great. The rugs, yeah. Where we can talk about the carpets more than in a rug video. Like when I was even creating the project, the first thing that came to my mind that was the only best and the only place that you can talk about it's the rug radio, because everyone fucking loves the rugs.
It's true. We do love it, movie. That's true. So talk to us about it. Talk to us about the magic carpets. I'm gonna share them on the as soon as the video ends here in a minute. I'll screen share them so people can see.
Yeah. So when I was studying computer science in 2012, in the mathematics class, we saw one the algorithm. It's called the Sierpinski fractals, and I just when I was because we are coming this same culture, like you have like a Persian roots, Azerbaijani, Turkish, so always the carpets was in our life. Like when we open our eyes, we walk. The first one thing is the carpet, and and
so true.
And when I was studying that algorithm, I saw that these patterns actually could create so amazing carpet symbols and the fractals, because the carpet symbols also this geometry, this like the floral patterns, all are this basically simple geometric forms that we are using in mathematics. And in that time, I never had an idea what is generative art. It actually, could be as a digital art form. And when I joined in NFTs in 2020s, the first idea to came in my mind to learn again the P5 and the processing and to this drop, but I hadn't never had opportunity to bring all these people together, and I wrote this the code with my team together. So it's a simple, super light web-based code that that has a possibility of creating unlimited possibilities of the carpet Diems. And why the name is carpet Diem? The carpet diem means that like they live the moment, and when this carpet it creates a uniquely for kind of each based on each hash code, and this idea like it inspired me that actually your carpet it's one and it belongs to you, and you just have to enjoy your carpet as a carpet diem.
I love that. These are fucking sick. I mean, look at these. These are like, that's something like, I mean, I would say I want my floor, but I want this on my wall. I was thinking actually hanging a carpet lit on my wall because the Persian rugs are so sick. But these are dope. And I'm assuming, Orkhan, that the process that you use is very similar. It's just, is it the same across all your works? So is it the same process as like what you were what Ovi was describing with regards to that one of one?
No, it's totally different
Oh, wow.
infrastructure and the code. It's fully web-based. It's kind of same as technology as art blocks. Everything is created on your screen. It's a piece of code that you are buying, and you can regenerate your carpet. And in Ovi's work that he collected, it's more research-based, more academic artwork, I can tell.
I love that.
That requires much more computing power and the time and energy. But this is super light patterns that is kind of generated on the not on the chain we create, but we store the all script and all code on the FFS. And regarding that, you wanted to hang the Persian carpet on your wall. So one of the amazing part of this project is kind of sustainability and the working and empowering the local craftsmanship. So after the sold out, I have a travel plan to 3 different countries and meet local people that they are making the carpet with hand. And I will order them the handmade carpets that will be rewarded to
No
the
way.
collector.
I like
so
that.
sick.
Dude, I fucking need one of those.
Maybe you are the lucky one.
Yeah, I
because
mean,
they
I'm
will go
for
well.
sure minting your work because I have been wanting your work for a minute. That's besides anything going on with the show this morning. But you know, I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. But because there's only 1,000 of those, right? And and just your work is so sick. I remember here. That's what it is. I'm gonna share it. That's the first work I saw from Orkhant, LV. That was the first on Foundation.
Yeah,
it was these generative rugs that Orkhan had dropped back then. That was way back, right? That was October 2021. Look at who was bidding on it. So funny. It was Machi and Senra going back at it. Look at that.
oh, that's brilliant.
Look at this. You can't make this up. It's so great. But see, this is the work. I mean, it's so sick. I just absolutely love it. So, Orkhan, do you want to maybe share like the details and mechanics behind the mint and whatnot? I mentioned it's March 3rd, 23rd on OpenSea directly, I believe. But do you want to maybe share for your collectors and maybe up and coming new collectors, just kind of like the timeline of your release?
Yep. So this drop, I was contact with OpenSea almost 2 years. That we they helped me feature out of projects. They supported me as a platform when I was participating in art fairs. And this year I contacted them regarding that "Hey, let's do some project together." And they offered me that they are building actually a new drop feature, the OpenSea.io/drops. It's a new kind of infrastructure for deploying your own smart contracts without external code, and everything you can do in inside OpenSea. And I said, okay, actually, it's the amazing match, my carpet Diem and this drop feature of OpenSea. So we collaborated with them to release the collection there. It's super simple. You just log in with your MetaMask and choose how many you want to mint, and it mints for you. The mint is two-stage, so the 23 March. We are releasing for the community like an early mint, and after 2 days it will be public. Actually, I wanted to make the 24 hours, but somehow my brothers and the friends and collectors told me that make it 2 days, that because there's Arbitrum drop, there's a people time spent, time zones. So I want people enjoy and have a focus and just decide if really they want to be the Rub the Genie or not.
Drop the genie. I love that. Is that what you're calling it? I love that. I'm just going through your art. I mean, damn, dude, the Eastern Promises pieces are crazy. When you look at even this piece,
that's so sick.
Fuck me, dude. That is so sick. Could stare at this all day.
Yeah, it's mesmerizing. Isn't
And
it?
also, when I was we are working on the project with the team, we had a lot of ideas that, okay, we are giving the rug design to the collectors, but what else we can give them they will enjoy? And there were a lot of ideas that let's do this one, and I remember that the Rug Radio made the Rug collection for the Twitter header, and this idea is super sick. That because if you remember, in Azerbaijan and Persia, we have the carpet on the walls.
Yeah.
And when I saw the rug on the Twitter header of this your Genesis collection of the rugs in the Rug Radio, so we also created the Twitter header inspired by what you did. So everyone who is minting the carpet Diem, they will later able to create their own smartphone wallpaper, and also the Twitter and Discord cover photos.
Very smart. Very, very smart. That's honestly it, right? I think that because you're not focused on any PFP stuff, but you want people love showcasing in the banners, their art. That's just a known thing. So that's why we went for it. And I think it's the best way. And definitely on the wall. I was discussing with a friend yesterday. I'm like, what am I doing with this back wall now that I moved everything around? I'm like, why don't I just literally lay down a freaking rug? definitely love that. I mean, Orkhan, I think this is all super. I mean, this is sick. I definitely wish you all the best of luck, though. I don't think you'll need luck on the 23rd, which is tomorrow. So like you said, 2 days for the pre-sale, and then the public mint is on the 25th. Probably going to be reminding people, because I'm definitely going to be minting this because it costs 0.1 ETH and the art is absolutely sick. And so definitely want to support. So definitely I find it super sick. For the people listening on YouTube or on the on the audio platforms, we're going to post the show on after. The Twitter account to follow is Orkhant Art. So ORKHAN _art ART. ORKHAN _ART. And definitely check it out, whether you're getting the Carpe Diem or not, because Orkhan's work is crazy. And the video that we were playing just now, the 10-minute piece, is there's a thread that Ovi wrote about after buying it to share more of it. But this is absolutely sick. I mean, Mado, you're a big Rafiq fan. Orkhan, you went to school with Rafiq, right?
Yeah, when I entered the school, Rafiq was graduating, so I chose the same university, and we had a lot of chat with him during his study. And he's also one of my collectors, early collectors. He purchased one of one.
I love that. That's actually, I mean, that must be quite the honor, huh?
Yeah. Of course, man. It was so good when he visited my exhibition in Art Dubai. We constantly chat with him, but because of he's super busy, we don't have actual time to meet. Sometimes we just meet each other when we are participating in the same fairs. And he wrote me that I'm coming to see your exhibition, and I collected their come. The mentor is coming, and he enjoyed so much in the watching whole experience. It was super honor for me as well.
That's pretty sick. I mean, yeah, he is.
I saw Rafik there. He had no idea who I was, but then I was like, oh, remember we had you on Rug Radio, and he was like, yeah. I think he probably thought Mando.
He probably knows Mando better because Mando was really the one.
Oh yeah, Mando. And then Ovi just was like, yep.
It was really Mando that got him on and was leading that interview that I remember. So he probably knows Mando better. But anyways, you guys are one person, so it's like you're just wrecked. You're just one persona, one character. But anyways, Orkhan, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a blast. We gotta, listen. We gotta do maybe like a STUBS together at some point. That'd be pretty fire. Just saying.
Always. I love rugs. I love rug radio.
Hell yeah.
Almost all Twitter space since like we meet each other, and just being an idea of the rug. It's amazing. People underestimate the rugs. Guys.
I agree.
Love rugs, don't do drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Love rugs, don't rug. Exactly. Don't rug. Love rugs. Rugs are fire. Rugs tie a room together. Like when you go to any home, like when there's a fire rug, literally you're like, holy shit. Like Persian rug.
The most Persian show I think I've ever.
Dude, tell me a Persian rug doesn't tie a room together, Mando. Tell me it doesn't tie a room together. You go to a place and you're like, wow.
I've never seen Mando so quiet in this segment before.
I know,
I
right?
just thought I'd shut up. That's generally what I thought. I just thought if I was going to come in and give my view on Islamic art, you guys would be like, "Shut up, Mando." Like, this is our moment.
Habibi Mando.
I love the art. Okay, I think it's really really cool.
No, the art is sick. I need more Islamic art on my shit. I'm gonna go have to steal some stuff out of my mom's. I just have a bunch of NFT related stuff on the wall, but my mom's the one with all the art alpha and everything. So I'm gonna go and steal some stuff in her house. Just put it on the wall.
You talk about rugs like you talk about falafel.
Dude, I'll take you the best falafel in Paris next time, bro. Straight up, dude. Rue des Rosiers. If you know, you know. €5, your life will be flipped.
I know.
Yeah, no, rugs is special though. Like I like rugs to me, and that's why I really really love Orkhan's work. And I met Orkhan 2 years ago, and it's true, like he's been listening to us for a while, and he's always supporting and he's been dropping fire art. And I wasn't surprised when Ovi's like showed me the work. I was like, holy shit, like it's sick. But like I wasn't surprised it was Orkhan because it's just fire art. It's just like, listen, rugs are beautiful. And in the words of Orkhant, before we rug the space, is don't rug, love rugs. That's definitely the quote of the day on GM-Web3. Orkhan, thank you so much. Again, congratulations for all your success. Excited for you on the 23rd. We'll remind the people on the show. And then again, best of luck on the 23rd and through the 25th. You can check it out, Orkhan Art. You're going to be able to see it on OpenSea directly because that's where it's minting. Ovi, Mando, another banger of an episode tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but there will be we have a guest also today, 2 p.m. Rec Radio 2:30. Oh, it's at 2:30.
Oh, it's literally we'll be digesting the biggest head of the last 12 months.
Yeah,
biggest FOMC.
Yeah, I mean the biggest FOMC of the year.
Probably biggest FOMC ever.
I'm so happy. I just
of your career.
I don't have a meeting during that time, so I will definitely be tuning in. You guys doing YouTube as well, right? So same place. So on here, so if you're already on the Rec Radio YouTube, just subscribe to it, and they're gonna go live on Rec Radio goes live on YouTube every week, same way as GM-Web3 and GN-Web3 as well. And then we have all the clips going on, so you can either listen on Spaces or live on YouTube. I have a feeling that U4, Raul, Keyboard Monkey, YouTube on video is gonna be a blast. So I literally can't wait to listen to y'all. So that's definitely gonna be the one to listen to. And that's about it. So with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of GM-Web3 on Rug Radio. Let's go.
And it's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. GM on this beautiful day. Good morning to Web3 with Barocco, Seth, and Mando. Tuning live at 10:30. and it's all on the road radio. It's a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Diem. Rock radio.
Boom. 1 second. Boom.